Hello students, let's talk about surds. So basically, to understand surds, let's take one example. There is a triangle, right angle triangle ABC. If AB and AC I take 1 centimeter, can you try to find out the length of BC? Okay, let's see how it works. So using Pythagoras theorem, we can say AC square plus AB square equals to BC square. BC square is the hypotenuse. So the AC is 1, AB is also 1. So 1 square and 1 square is BC square. So 1 is 1 plus 1, 2. 2 is equals to BC square. So BC is square root of 2. But the condition for today is there is no calculator. So we are not going to use calculator. So we don't know the exact value of square root 2. Because if you remember, 2 is a prime number and the square root of 2 will be an irrational number. So irrational numbers, they are non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. Okay, so this will give you some idea about surds. So here finally we found the square root, the squared and the root. So a surd is any number that contains a square root sign, not the tree one. Okay, this is a square root sign. So let's take some examples. Square root of 12, square root of 3, square root of 5, 5 plus square root 78. So square root of 12, of course 12 is not a prime number, remember, okay? But if you factorize 12, you will see one factor is prime, and square root of prime number will be an irrational or like a surd. So we can leave the square root sign in these cases, and it is useful for two reasons. So the first reason, we don't need calculators when you deal with them. And the second reason is they are much more accurate, as you don't have to round off the decimals because they are non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. So square root of 2 is equivalent to a decimal number that is going forever, irrational. So you could actually never could write down its decimal accurately, and at certain point you need to round off. For example, square root 2, 1.414213562, and this is rounded off to 9 decimal places. So guys, surds have their own rules for their calculation, for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. First, let's think about multiplication. So you need to learn these rules. Now think about what is square root 4 times square root of 9, which is very easy. You know square root of 4 is 2 and square root of 9 is 3. So when you multiply them, you'll get 6. Okay, and which is the correct answer. Let's take another example. For 6 as the same as the square root of some number. You know which number? That is 36. Yes, exactly. So can you see the link between these two things? Square root of 36 and square root of 4 and square root of 9. Yes, if you multiply 4 and 9, you will get 36. So in this case we got 6. In this case also we got 6. So basically, if you have two square roots, and the numbers, you can multiply together to make them 36. And then you can find out the answer in surds form or in other format. So the rule is here, square root a times the square root of b equals to a times square root of b. Now the second rule for their division. So of course you need to learn these also. So what do you think? Square root of 100 and divided by square root of 25. I would say square root of 4. Now let's try. No, that's not right. Why? Because it is square root of 4. So without square root it is 2. Yes, you're right. So square root of 4 is 2. and 2 is same as the square root of 4. Okay, yes, so again you see the relation, the connection between this and this. So you see the numbers under these square roots 125, if you divide them you are getting 4. That's why the answers are 2 and 2. Yeah, so the link is very clear as you understood before. So the rule is, if you divide two numbers under the square roots, you can write down like this, or you may write down in this way. So here is another case. So square root of 49, and you do the squaring of that. So what do you think? What is square root of 49? Which is 7. And then what is 7 square? It's 49. Yes, it is 49. Okay, so this is very obvious. It means if you do square of a square root, you'll get the same number. So let's revise the rules. Square root of a square root b is square root of ab. If you divide, you can write them single, and if you square, you'll get the result back as a number. So let's look at these numbers and let's try to match them. What do you think of square root of 75? I would say it's a multiple of 5, and 25 times 3 is 75. So I'll go with this. So these two are same. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 9 is 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. So let's connect with 12. Where is 12? Can you see? Yeah, this is 12. What is this? Square root of 4 into 7. Square root 28. Yes. Okay, and same here, 54 over 18. So we can divide them directly. So it will give you square root of 3. Okay. So work out these following surds calculations. You can leave your answers in surd form. I mean in the square root form. Okay. So you can see the numbers 2 square root of 3 and 5 square root of 2. The very basic rule is you multiply numbers with the same powers together only. So 2 and 5, they have same powers as 1 and 1. So 2 into 5 is 10. Square root 3, square root 2, they both have same powers. So we can multiply them together. So guys, 2 times 5 and then square root of 3 and square root of 2. So when you multiply together, you'll get 10 times square root of 6. That's the right answer. Same with this. I hope you understand what to do. So yeah, 10 divided by 2, square root of 12 divided by square root of 6. Okay, so you carry on. So 10 by 2 times 12 by 6, which will give you 5 times square root of 2, because 12 by 6 is 2, 10 by 2 is 5. I hope you learned something today, and you should practice this. Thank you.